Hi everyone, Amy here, and I have a simple Here For You card to share using a couple of layered up stencils. Now these stencils are from a Colorful Life Designs. This first one is called All Over Hearts, and the second one is called Scooped Triangles. And if you do shop, be sure to use my coupon code AmyFan10 and save 10% on your complete order. I have some card panels here and some inks from Catherine Pooler. And here's a photo of the card that I'm going to make for you today. You can see it's very rich and pigmented in color, but pretty simple in design. So I'm just working right on this A2 size panel that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just lining it up with this 6x6 stencil on my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station. And I'm using the magnets to hold the stencil down in place, and then I'm going to select a few colors from this Date Night collection of mini ink pads, and then I will use my blending brushes to lay down the color. So this is a bit of a delicate stencil, but you can see it does work fine with the magnets. You do have the option of using pixie spray if you want it to, be held in place a little bit better. But I'm just doing some simple ink blending here, kind of starting lighter and not as heavy-handed in the lower right corner, because I'm kind of picturing this is where I want my sentiment to go. So you'll see I do get a little bit more rich in color as I move upward, and I will use that second pink color as well to blend over top. So I'm starting from, lightest pigment on the lower right and moving up into the darkest, richest color. So I am applying a little bit more pressure with my hand as I ink blend. And as you can see, I do have this video sped up, so we're not here all day, but you get the idea. I'm just kind of going lighter handed and then pressing harder as I want more ink to transfer onto the card panel. And you'll see I'm not working directly on a card base like I often do. This is actually a layered card. So a lot of times you've probably seen me work directly on the card base. That is an option as well if you want to keep it even more simple with not as much bulk. You can certainly do this sort of design directly on a card base. And you can see I've kind of shifted my stencil around on accident a little bit, so I'm just lining that back up. And here I have the darker pink color from the pad, the ink pad set. And I'm just kind of coming in over that top left corner and coming in darker in color here. So pretty simple ink blending, nothing too groundbreaking here. But I am going to bring in that bluey purple color and then layer up this other stencil on top of it. So this was a bit of a happy accident. I recently acquired these stencils and I just happened to have them kind of in a stack on my desk. And I saw these two stencils next to each other and I thought, hey, that would actually make a really cool design. So I encourage you to go through your stencils and kind of give them new life by figuring out which ones might pair well together. Maybe think outside the box. If you have something with more of a smaller print, maybe try and pair it with one of your more open, bigger print stencils. So it's just a fun way to really stretch your supplies and maybe use them in a different way to create a different look. Now here I have a die set from altenew. I haven't used it yet, but I think I saw my friend Therese use it or something. I'm not sure, but I had to have it, and it's got a lot of cool options for creating this nice finished border on your panels. So as you can see, this cut out all these little holes, and I'm just poking them out with my pokey tool here just to kind of finish off this panel. But this was such a cool die set. I had to get my hands on it as soon as I saw it. And I will link that in the video description box below with all the other products that I used. If you expand the video description box and scroll down, that's where you'll find the product links and additional details. But I'm just going to attach this panel directly to the card base with some tape runner. And this is an A2 size card base of 110-pound cardstock. And now I'm shopping my sentiment book to figure out what sentiment I want to use for this card. Now this is how I batch and kind of mass produce, is I have a lot of this stuff ready to go. I have this one binder for my die cut sentiments, and I have another binder for my cutout and colored critters. So I decided to use this new to me, Here For You die. This is from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just applying some Barely Art glue in little dots to the back of it, and I'm using my tweezers here to kind of hold it in place while I apply the glue. And then you'll see I will pounce it off on that piece of scratch note paper, and that will help me not have, you know, too much glue oozing out the sides when I apply it onto my card here. So I'm just putting this again in that lower right corner where I kind of deliberately left the ink lighter. And that's just kind of my preferred sort of composition here. I kind of like to have things in the lower right corner, but you can absolutely center this and put it in the top or wherever you want on the card. And I have some pretty blingage here. This is just some a mix of, they're kind of like sequins, but they don't have the holes. I think they came with like a Hero Arts card kit a long time ago, but I wanted to use the gold because I felt it worked really well with that kind of mirrored gold cardstock that I used for the die cut. So I'm just doing a little smattering of these, again using the liquid glue in my tweezers, messing with this here. I accidentally put a black one down. I needed to swap that out and put gold down instead, but they really like to stick to each other. There's some serious static in this little bag of blingage, but I did do odd numbers like I usually do. So I have 3 on the one side and 2 on the other, and that's going to finish my card. So it's not super bulky. It is a layered card, but it does have, you know, those die cuts and the little elements that make it special. So I hope you enjoyed my card today. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. I really appreciate you watching, and I love your comments, so leave me lots. I'll check you next time. Bye.